Saturday, I'm told. It's my parents' wedding anniversary today. They were meant to be over in Derbyshire, I think it was, but they are not for obvious reasons. Um, yeah, yeah, they are. Um, that may just be the link through to the board game. Yeah, on Skype chat. So, but uh, yeah, I'll send it via WhatsApp in a sec. They were just cool. Yeah, it's fine. That we really will be testing the idea. So let's. You hear me twice? Oh dear. That works. So, you think I've got a case of echolalia? So, yeah, I'll show 3 who's watching. Wow, bloody hell. Well, yeah. What do you mean you're not watching it? Who the hell is the third? Shit, this is unnerving. I know. Yeah. And then he casts it onto his TV, so that might come through as 2 more. Sorry? Yeah, I go try and go half screen on both. Well, thank you everyone for indulging me in this test piece. It's I've got so my webcam. Let me just take a quick picture of my setup here to put round the WhatsApp group. Um, do, do, do. Of sorts. You know, yeah, it's just a. Oh god, that's weird. I hate this. But yeah. So I'm just amused by myself. The fact we've got 3 communication channels open. Like, yeah, people are more isolated. No, we're not. We're trying to talk to each other through multiple ways simultaneously. Well, yeah, it's starting to look that way, isn't it? Like, I think the webcam electrically taped to the camera tripod is possibly dubious, but uh, right. So, how's people's work been over the last week? Anything change? I don't mean like change jobs. I mean that would be quite a dramatic thing. I would expect you to have mentioned it so far, but like, has any the amount of work people are doing changing, or Well, I'm kind of tempted with our lot 'cause we've got workplace assessment where you can, um, get n ad additional adaptive kit to help with your office when you're in the office. I wonder how it will work remotely. I mean, can I get the company to pay for a new chair? Wait, hang on. Sorry, I misheard you there. I thought you said 10K. I how? How would a home setup cost 10K? Well, that makes more sense. And are they having to get everything massively encrypted up to government standards as part of this, or is this just a general home setup they're on Zoom? Because yeah. Oh my god, really? Oh gosh. Um, sorry, that's because my phone's hooked up to my Bluetooth speaker because, more tech. So let me turn that off. Have you just spilt something, Steve? Mm, Uh, I think you meant to say, Matt, talking of cute, Michelle's back. I thought you meant to segue it more, but yeah, view it and then nothing happens off the back of it. Oh, hmm. Yeah. Matt, is that City Skylines? Right. Fair enough then. Yeah, fair. I've recently downloaded that for my Switch and have spent precisely like 20 minutes on it, and that's it. Because I'm finding myself not even having the motivation to do gaming at the moment. It's quite irritating when you end up browsing social media and you get all these people going, "Well, you're all there doing nothing." I was like, "No, I'm still bloody working. Piss off, bloody art student." Uh, I'm very grateful for them. They subsidised my degree. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I do remember Steve telling me that one of his lecturers, as a research project, designed new fonts for Microsoft. Sorry, Calibri. Yeah, I was going to say that's. I really like it. Apart from it, still suffers the ongoing issue of L's eyes wands. Like, why can't that just be a standard check you guys do before releasing new fonts into the wild? I mean, no. This Wow, Matt. Like, yeah, go on, Steve. You're our fonts guy. Like, dyslexic pots of paint. That'd be interesting. That'll be when you get confused between Durax and Durex. So one in Chicago. Whoops. Chicago's there. One in East. There. I was really pleased with myself earlier. I came. Normally, I'll put all the disease cubes inside Chinese takeaway boxes. I was like, well, that's taking up too much board space. You're not going to be able to see this. Oh, egg cups. What? Sorry. Oh, oh yeah. Sorry, it just pleases me more. Um, and then match with those. Right. Has anyone actually played this game before, by the way? Okay, cool. Well, you're all in for a treat. Hmm. So, it's a good one. It's a really good one. It's one of the it's a modern classic. Um, yeah. So, oh, mute YouTube. Definitely. Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry, Michelle. While you were away, I did say to the other guys that what I was doing was trying to experiment with this because my parents want to have a board game. No worries, Matt. My parents want to have a board game tomorrow, and they their eyesight is not that great. So if it's YouTube, they can actually put it up on their big telly. So I'm sorry, we're just going to experiment with this and see how well it goes. Yeah. As your biology, where did we start using guinea pigs? What was it? Because I know it is going to be penicillin because guinea pigs have a fatal reaction to that and we don't. Yeah. Sorry, when you say before, do you work up through hierarchical things, or we'll experiment on mice first, then we'll move up to a ferret, and then we'll move up to a guinea pig, and then we'll move up to a primate? Right, right. I can understand why some people have reservations on that front. Shit. Yeah. Excuse me. Right. Yeah. So one of the first problems with all of this is framing the shot. So excuse me on this one while I just faff around to try and work out, because I know what's going to happen in terms of there's a whole bunch more cards that are going to come out and play. So I'm trying to set it up so that there is space. And I realise I said that with more R's than there normally are because I've been living in the West Country. I know. One of our one of our project names was Pearl, and one of our project managers, the project manager for that one, has a very thick West Country accent. So when we wrote it on the board, we wrote it well. Every week we'd add another R onto the end of the Pearl. It's very good. Right. So can't do anything on the. Yeah, I can't. I was going to start explaining stuff and bits and pieces, but I realised there is no mat, and therefore I'd have to explain it twice. I don't fancy doing that. And actually, I've got the wrong marker. Marker. I'm trying to find something nice and bright to, but also quite easy. How about that? Upside down. How does that show up? That's not. It's not great. It's not very well was the answer, so don't worry. Uh, life is full of experimentations, as the actress said to the bishop. Oh, I imagine the exasperated sigh was because of me. Normally is. Yeah, thank. Cool. Who sent me a WhatsApp? Oh, Michelle. Well, it wasn't aimed at me, but I'm think you said so cute. You very rarely aim that statement at me. Well, not in the group situation. Eh, never mind. Yeah, I could accept that one. Who's got that in the background? Okay. And I've got continuous horns, like someone's just slumped over the wheel. Um, yeah, yeah, someone's just. We're up to about a minute of continuous car horn at this end, but it's. Ah, is it wrong? But I don't actually agree with that because I can't help but think the best way to support the NHS is to stay inside, reduce contact, and keep funding them. So, yeah, yeah. You mean like Americans saluting the and singing Star Spangled Banner and before? Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Like calling those low-paid workers who have to go in to do things like, um, well, grocery staff and bits and pieces like referring to them as heroes rather than lowly paid people who are risking their health. Yeah, but much cheaper just to call them heroes and try and make them feel good that way rather than fund them properly. Now, help for heroes is someone else. For the other lot. Actually, Michelle, I seem to remember you did a stint out in America teaching at some camp thing, didn't you? Didn't they do um, salute the flag and sing the anthem? And I was going to say rah rah rah, but that's very British, and I don't think they are. Yeah, that's what I know. No, 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 no. They should pledge allegiance to the Queen. Bring them back into the fold. Yeah, but if we get them back, we could send them Piers Morgan again. I mean, it's a high price to pay, but it is Piers. I hope you were tutting and eye rolling. Oh my word. Oh, they are. One of my favourite things, Michael Palin, Monty Python, and does travel stuff. He did. Oh, I want to say it was on his Around the World in 80 Days thing, and it was the Indian Pakistani border that we're at. Was that in Himalaya? Right. Okay. Oh my god! I think he described it as something like the most the politest form of aggression that they've got. They are stomping angrily at each other, and it is honestly just well worth a look. Um, yeah, but the whole thing s- has been wonderfully choreographed so that both sides know what to expect. So there isn't any actual aggression, but it looks so aggressive. No, it's not just that. But yeah, you're right. It's all right, Matt. Have a look at your WhatsApp group. Wow, that sounds like a weary tone of resignation. Anyway, I've sent a link around for people to look at later. It's the Indian Pakistani border as, that appeared as it's 10 minutes of joy, camp joy. Yeah. I was gonna say, having watched that clip, Steve, what do you do when you go to the public toilet? I'm slightly concerned by this notion of a flag lowering ceremony that involves Steve having a pissing match. Fly lowering ceremony. Mm. Anyway, now we're back to a full house. Someone might have my YouTube audio back on. Not sure. Um, fair enough. Radio. Distraught. Right. I love Michelle on two computers. Oh no, it was a genuine. I love that you're on too. I mean, I currently have four in my house, plus some Raspberry Pis, which don't really count. Um, Matt, I forgot you're the IT department. Like, what's the oldest operating system? NT? 98? Wow. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot one. Five computers. I've got another. I've got my parents' machine that I've just had to wipe their hard drive for. We're not. We're just getting rid of it. Unless anyone wants an 80 gig IDE hard drive. Ma- yeah. So is everyone else. So we just want to get rid of it. But good practice says you delete your data before you pass it on anyway. Yep. Yeah, I did contemplate using this as an external because I am looking at getting something so I can actually do proper backups. But um, I need more space than 80 gig. It's like, no, I'm not cloud. I've got a NAS. I've got a NAS. I'm not. I'm just going to keep stuff on local network or local externals. Don't trust cloud. Yeah. Matt, yeah, Matt. The key with a NAS is its acronym: Network Attached Storage. Like- yeah, fair. So, whilst I stalled for you to count, how much? What was your final count out of interest? Ooh, tablets. Oh crap! If we're counting tablets and phone, I mean, I've got four phones knocking around. Yeah, yeah. Jeez. I wasn't expecting that I'd be one with one of the lowest numbers. David, Steve, like, oh, that's a mid of the mid table. Fair enough. Yeah. Um, not that there's ever going to be a good segue, but shall I do a quick introduction of the game? Okay, so Pandemic is a cooperative board game. We all work together. Matt, Steve, Michelle. So Matt, Michelle, David, Steve's knee. We all work together. I'm afraid, Steve, all your knee will have to count as one. We're not doing individual hairs. Uh, so the advantage of a co-op board game is that everyone gets to see everyone else's cards, and we all have a common strategy working to defeat the game. The disadvantage of that is we're all meant to work together to try and defeat the game. Um, yeah, it's going to be fun. He says, hopefully. So, the I'm not sure if you can see very well that we've got disease marker blocks everywhere. Little cubes, little coloured cubes. Yeah, on the map. So there's one of the little cubes. Yep. So there are 4 diseases knocking around. We don't really name them, but I suggest, well, the red one. The thing is, right? There is a little map. There's a little symbol in there for um, which does look very much like coronaviruses, the coronavirus family. But yeah, and there's another one that's very much bacteria related. So, oh, it's just these little symbols right down there. They're not important. It's the colours. Sorry. Um, is it in focus, by the way? I've tried my best. Right. S- Is that any better? Okay, cool. I had a very, isn't it? Trouble is, I've got a very small thumbnail that I've been looking at to try and focus, and that's a very good point. Right. uh, so, in order to get this set up, I have, um, yeah, my desktop is running this streaming and Skype and bits and pieces. There's a USB extension that goes out to my webcam, and there's a USB extension that goes out to my headset, so I can walk most of the way around my lounge and do all this. But it doesn't mean I can walk everywhere, sadly. Um, right. So sorry, just bear with me a moment while I try and throw this one up. My channel. Oh, let's watch. Oh dear. Sorry. Right. So anyway, the get that set up. So yes, so the game has many ways of losing, but only one way of winning. The way we win is that we manage to cure all the diseases, which is this bit down here. So those are right in the very bottom down here. So the cures are going to be there. Oh God. Yeah, sorry. I've got myself coming feeding back off my TV. Oh, this is so weird. Right. Well, true. Um, right. So what happens is we are trying to cure the diseases. Each of the players, we have 4 out of this lot here. So there's going to be one for each of you, and I'm just going to run it. Um, you're going to have some cards in your hand. So I've already drawn the first 2 cards for each of them. So let's just put that as the edge of frame. Those are the cards that you'll have. Sorry, I was just so I'm gonna have them laid out so that you can see the cards you've got. If you end up with 5 of the same type, you can go to one of these white buildings and exchange 5 of the same type for a cure. The game ends when we have cured all 4 diseases. Doesn't matter about eradicating the disease blocks. We just need to cure all the diseases. Okay. So what happens during a go is that you can do 4 actions. You can move one of these node positions around, so you can move one place. Um, if you've got a card that has a particular location on it, say this card is New York, then what you do is you can fly directly to that city. If you're in that city where you have a card, you can then fly to anywhere else. If you discard that particular card, you can bounce between. If there are more than one of these white buildings, you can bounce between them as an action. You can build one of these research stations if you're in a city and you've got a city card that matches, and you can treat disease. So let's remove one of these blocks, and yeah, discover a cure. There's also share knowledge, but that doesn't really come up. So there's quite a few actions that you can do in there. So one move could be, say you're in Miami, you can move across to Mexico City as one. You can cure, cure, and cure. Take away all 3 of those disease blocks, and that'll be your go over because you've only got 4 actions. Does that make sense? Roughly? Maybe. Okay, I'll take maybe. It's yeah. I say it's going to be fun trying to do this one remotely when you can't see all I can see. So, but this should work in theory. Should pretty much work. So, um, after we've done the 4 actions, that particular player will then draw 2 more cards. Cards being more cities in well, more cities of a particular color. So as I say, you're trying to build a collection of um, yeah, similar colors in there, and then we infect cities, which is I then draw 2 of these infections cards, and when I draw one of them, uh, I place extra disease cube blocks dotted around whichever cities they are. So every go, the world gets more infected. Sound familiar? Um, yeah, yeah. So, ways that we can lose the game. Okay, so the PM doesn't count. Yeah, yeah. As I say, there's only one way to win, which is to cure the diseases, but there's multiple ways that we can all lose. One is we can have 8 outbreaks. So down this left-hand side is an outbreak tracker. Goes down there. So each city can have a maximum of 3 disease cube blocks. If, when turning over the green cards at the end of a go, I turn it over and it's onto a city that's already got 3 disease cube blocks, well, it's already reached its limit, so the disease can't go there. It'll go to everywhere that's attached to it. And if there's 2 cities that are at their disease limit, yes, the effects cascade. So outbreaks will just go rampant across the world quite quickly. Um, each of the each of the players. Um, other ways we can lose is we can get to the end of our player block and not have beaten the game. That's the most common way of losing. It's probably what's going to happen today. Don't worry about it. Um, inside the player block are these awful. Is that in focus? My TV's not updated yet. Sure. Okay, so anyway, those green epidemic cards say that. Tell you what, actually, that has made it worse. Which way did I turn it? That way? Let's turn it that way. So these cards, when we turn them over, first thing is I increase this count. So the first couple of counts, we're still only turning over 2. Then we'd need to turn over 3 and then 4. So at the end of every go, there are more cities being infected. I would then draw a new city from the very bottom of that pack and put 3 disease cube blocks on that particular city, which obviously makes that one at its limit and therefore liable to have an outbreak. I then would shuffle all of the spent city cards in that infection pack, shuffle them all, place them back on top so they could get reinfected again. So thus the cycle keeps continuing. Imagine they had social distancing and then relaxed it and everyone went back to normal straight away with no restrictions. Yay. So, charming. Uh, it really flows when you can if you want. So there's 7 possible player cards, and we're going to have 4 of them. So scientists have a special ability of you only need 4 cards of the same color instead of 5 to come up with a cure. Medics can remove all cubes of one color when doing treat disease and can automatically remove cubes of any cured diseases as they just stroll through the town. I really hope one of us gets a medic. A researcher may give any one card when you share as an action. A quarantine specialist prevents diseases from going on the city you're in and anywhere that's connected to you. Operations expert can just build research stations around the world in whichever city they're in. And yeah, they can move around the world a lot easier. Dispatcher can move someone else's pawns around. And contingency planner can, as an action, take any special event cards and as part of one of their turns. So are you all right if I just randomly pick from there, or do you want to pick them specially? Okay. Who wants to be... Right. So contingency planner, researcher, medic, and quarantine. Cool. Those are the 4 players. What I'm going to do is set it up so the contingency planner is there, the researcher is there, the medic is there, and the quarantine is here. Are they all vaguely on screen? Okay. My YouTube is about 5 minutes behind. Right. Um, so what's who's going to be first? Well, has anyone got a particular affinity to one of the four players? You right with that, Michelle? All right. Uh, no. Closest I've got is a contingency planner. All right. So Steve, Michelle, David, Matt, one's quarantine, one's medic. Okay, cool. Um, right. Um, if you don't mind, I'll start with Matt, simply because um, he's top left on my screen, and therefore it'll be easier for me to track. So we'll go Matt, David, Steve, Michelle, if that's all right. Uh, Contingency, I think you're that colour, and researcher is that colour. Right. So all it, I think this guy who created it is American because you're all starting at the CDC in Atlanta. Yeah. Never mind, eh? Yeah. So, um, for me to keep track, there is going to be a red Siggy lighter on whoever the current player is, so I can see who's got what hand. Um, so, Matt, you're first as quarantine specialist. So, your special skill is at the end of a session, the city that you're in and any connected cities don't have um, won't have a disease outbreak on. Your special cards at the moment is you've got a research. You can place a research station in any city as a special event, and you've got one red Jakarta card. You've got a hand limit, by the way, in this of 7 cards. So at the end of the round, you'll need to discard down to 7 cards in your hand. You've only got 2. So we're not there yet, and we're not going to be there for a few rounds, but just bear that in mind. Okay, so you're in Atlanta, Matt. You're connected to Washington, Chicago, which has 1 cube on it, Miami, and that's it. Um, Nearby, Mexico City has 3, San Francisco has 3. Uh, uh, yeah, you can. So we'll move you to Chicago. So it's 1 move. Cure that one. That's 2 actions. Uh, you can either go from there east to Montreal, or west to San Francisco, which has got 3, down to Los Angeles, nothing, down to Mexico City, that's got 3. Okay, 3, and I presume you just want to just heal that other one there. So that's 4. Yeah, cool. So that's your 4 actions. We then draw 2 cards. So the first card, oh, another special action. Very nice. 1 quiet night, which means that at the end of one of these rounds, we won't infect any more cities. And the other one is Shanghai. So Shanghai now gets another disease cube. When I find it, Shanghai. Okay. Then I infect cities. So there's two cards to be turned over from here. They are Tokyo and Lima. So Tokyo has already got one and is now about to get a second. Lima is on two and is about to get a third. So that's that. Next one on the list is David, who's the medic. So you're in the CDC area as well, in Atlanta. So how's that focus? I think the focus is getting there, isn't it? I'll just do these little nudges every now and then. Yes. Thanks for suggesting putting it on the telly. It's just making it easier for me to try and monitor all of this. Um, okay, so your special thing as a medic is that so Matt was able to remove one disease cube at a time for each action. Everyone else is able to remove one disease cube. As your action, you can just heal the city. You're very much walking Jesus. So, so you could, yeah, probably not so much right now because right now, yeah, I'll say rewriting the whole religious text as he got massively drunk and was sleeping it off. I believe that counts as blasphemy. Right. So yeah. So oh, good. Well do. Um. So yes, you're the orange piece, David. So you could 1, 2 to Mexico City, heal the city as a third, and then move somewhere else if you want. So yeah. So first, I'll just first Miami, then Mexico City. Heal Mexico City. That will get rid of all three disease cubes there, and then you can either move down to Bogota, which has got two, down to Lima, which has got three, or you could just move. You're also attached to Los Angeles, which has got nothing, and Chicago, which has got nothing. Yep. So that is 1, 2, 3. Then for your fourth, um, sorry. Yeah. Let me. Okay. Cool. I'll go with that. Um, right. Medic. So you now take two cards. First card is Johannesburg. Second card is Tokyo. Uh, no, no, no. Sorry, hang on. These are helpful cards. Those are not helpful cards. Yes, you can. It does. It also means that if David was collecting red cards or yellow cards, if he ends up with five in his hand, then he can cure that particular disease by going back to one of the white buildings. Does that make sense? Um, right, so that's your two cards. Then I'll draw the epidemics. Moscow gets one, gets its first one. New York gets one. Right, so that's those two. Next player is Steve, who is contingency planner, As an action, you could go through that empty pile and take a special event card. You can't do your special thing right now, Steve. Well, yeah. So you're back at the CDC space, and you, well, yeah, it's up to you where you want to go, what you want to do. So CDC, you're immediately attached to Chicago, Miami, Washington. Um, there's New York en route. There's currently no virus there, but it is actually a good idea to be because everyone's concentrated at the very start of the game. Okay, so that's one to Washington, two to New York. Did you want to heal New York along the way? Sorry, three, and then from New York going east, you can either go up to London or down to Madrid. Madrid. Okay, we're going to London. That's your four. Um, then your special card that you picked up is an airlift, which means that you can move uh, one pawn to any one city. Please get permission before you move someone else's. And your second one is Miami. So you currently have two yellows and a blue card. Final one is Michelle. Oh, no, sorry. Sorry, I haven't finished ruining the world. Bear with me. First up is Paris. Paris gets its first cue. Oh, no, no, yep. Sorry, I got my wrong greens mixed up. Second one is Baghdad. Okay, as you wish. I'll just put a disease cue there for now. You have to leave that bit for later. Right. So my YouTube has just shown that airlift card, so I seem to be running at least a minute and a bit behind everyone else. Okay. Okay. Right. We'll keep working on this. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. Right. Fair enough. I'll try and bear that in mind. Um, mm. So, Michelle, you're the last one to leave the CDC. What do you want to do? Oh, so you've got one yellow, one blue, Khartoum and New York. Your special ability is that you may give any one of your city cards when you share knowledge. Um, we need not match your city. A player who shares knowledge with you on their turn can take any one of your cards. So you still have to be in the same city as someone else, but you don't have the restriction of. So otherwise, to share these cards, um, say Steve wanted to share Miami with someone, give him another yellow card. Both Steve and someone else must be in Miami. So it's a massive pain in the ass. Whereas for you, it's not. You could just meet up with someone and give them a card. Yes, absolutely. They're the ones down at the bottom. So, oh, sorry. Okay, no worries. You've got Khartoum, which is, oh god, my geography is not very good. Khartoum. It's in Sudan. It actually says so on the card, which is particularly handy. Uh, and yeah, and you've got New York as well. Um, oh, yeah. Th- Thanks very much, Matt. Yeah, you are. Yes. Yeah. CDC Atlanta. Yes. So what you do to go the Pacific way is you go. If you go up from Los Angeles, you cut down to Sydney. If you go out to San Francisco, you could come out Tokyo or Manila. And moving across any one of those lines, including the ones that go wrapping around the world, still count as one move. Yeah, the damn pieces kept falling off. Uh, oh god, right. There's enough small pieces anyway, without trying to lose magnets underneath. I always got stuck to the underside of the fridge. Great. 1, 2, 3. You're at Tokyo. You've still got one more action left. Tokyo currently has 2 cubes on it. Um, you can move across to Shanghai, which has got 1, up to Seoul, which has got nothing, down to Osaka, which has got nothing. So, yeah, you could take 1 away from Tokyo. So Tokyo's down to 1. Excellent. So that's your first round done. Your cards are Resilient Population. At some point when you play that card, we can remove 1 city from the discarded cities pile up there. In other words, if we find ourselves in a situation where we have 2 cities that are at their population limit and could just have an outbreak, we can remove one of them. Very, very nice, that card. It stops us having more outbreaks. And you've also got Chicago. So no one has any cards for the black disease. That's interesting. Hmm. Uh, right. Okay. So next, Matt, quarantine. Matt, you are. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I'm not very good at running this game so far. Disease has hit St. Petersburg, and disease has hit Karachi. Sorry, I just had a slight pause because I just was thinking when that Tokyo city came up and whether Matt was already at San Francisco. He may. I don't think he was, so that's okay. Because obviously, Matt being quarantined would have meant that it wouldn't have had another disease cube there. Did it? Did it? Okay. Right. Uh, if it did, then let's just remove that one now then, because yeah. Right. Matt. Yes. Yes. Very good point. Yeah. So, Matt, you being Yes, there are. Yeah, that's two actions down. Yep. Yeah. Um, there's nothing on Los Angeles. Oh, okay. Because from where you are now, you can get to Manila in one go, which is just above. Because there's one of the actions that comes out from. Okay, so that's your third. Is you're in Manila. Um, you can't do it this round, but Taipei is one link above you. So what, Ho Chi Minh. Mm. Can I? Okay, I mean you're the guys playing it, not me. But I was going. Your quarantine and the city of Taipei is on 3. So rather than being at Ho Chi Minh, which admittedly is on a big node, will block quite a few. If you got to Hong Kong, then it will. If I turn over Taipei, it can't. Yeah. So that would stop an outbreak. I mean, as much as I want to show you what an outbreak looks like, I'd rather not rather not screw over the game straight away. So, Matt, your additional cards are a San Francisco and a Santiago. So you are currently on 6 cards, so that's all fine. Um, remember, it's a 7 card limit. And in case you're wondering when Santiago is, it's just got a disease cube. It's this little bit down the bottom that no one will care about. Santiago is a, like a cul-de-sac down here. It's just down one line only. So if it has an outbreak, it will only affect Lima. Yeah, basically, that's our sacrificial city. Uh, it's a bit much, Steve. It's not like it's the Australian outback with so many poisonous spiders. And the other city that's been infected is Cairo. So Cairo's got another one there. Okay, so that's Matt's turn. David, you are currently in Bogota, which has got 2 disease cubes. One down from that is Lima, which has got 3 disease cubes. And as the medic, you can indeed, yes. Okay, so one action is cure Bogota. Second action, move to Lima. Third action, cure Lima. Did you want to go down to Santiago or just hang around in Lima? Well, sorry, you've got one more action left, I should say. Uh, one cube in Santiago, and it's one link away from you. You've got one action left, so you can move, but you can't heal. Admittedly, uh, Lima, Johannesburg, yes, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. Okay. Yeah, yeah. There's only one disease cube there. But wait a moment, before we say that one. You've picked up Moscow, the first city, and you've had the misfortune of picking up an epidemic. So, first things first, I increase the infection rate. Then I take a city from the bottom and I add the disease cubes associated with that city. The city is Sao Paulo, and so Sao Paulo gets 3 disease cubes. I then make everything worse. So I take the previously infected cities and I shuffle in the cards. Da, 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 da. And I put that back there. Right, that's that epidemic dealt with. That was your second card. So now I'll turn over the infections and we'll go for these same cities again. So that is Karachi and St. Petersburg. As some of you will have correctly deduced, Sao Paulo, that has 3 infections on it, is back in that top set of recently infected cities. So that's going to come up at some point soonish. Yeah. So, how are we doing? Then, that's your go over, David. Next one is Steve. So, Steve, you're in London. Attached to you, you have Essen with 1, Paris with 1. 2 away from you, you've got St. Petersburg with 2. And 3 away with you, you've got Istanbul with 2. So you've got a little cluster near you, but not on you. Yeah. You can heal as you go through. It will take one of your actions and you take away 1 cube. Everyone can heal. David's the special healer. Yes, everyone gets 4 actions. Yep. So a move is an action, a heal is an action. And you've got a budget of 4. Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave you in Essen. Yep. So you've picked up Essen as one of your cards. Is that on frame? Yep. And Karachi as another one of your cards. You have 6 cards. That's all good. Then New York is getting infected. Don't worry, it happens. And then Cairo is getting affected. So that's that one. That's Steve's turn over. Michelle, you are in Tokyo. Taipei, as with all the other cards that have recently been, I think Taipei is one of the cards that's coming up soon. Taipei is 2 away from you. Shanghai is 1 away from you. When you start, if you were to cure Taipei, you won't be able to. Sorry, if you were to heal it, you won't be able to fully heal it. But you will be able to take it off the limit. Sorry. I say I do have that, but no, I don't want to do Monopoly neither. Don't think it's a very good game. Yeah, Shanghai is 1 away, Taipei is 2 away. 3. There was only 1 in. Okay. 1, 2, you're in Taipei, you got 2 actions left, so you can remove 2 of those disease cubes if you wish, or you could just remove 1 to take it under the limit. Okay, there we go. So that's that. You've picked up Madrid and Kinshasa. Or Kinshasa? Kinshasa. Yeah. Dominican Republic of Congo. Yeah. infected coun- Infected cities are Tokyo. And good news, David. Santiago has become more critical. No, no, no. This is good news because David hasn't got round to healing there yet, and it doesn't matter to David in terms of actions whether it's 1 cube or 2 or even 3. Yeah. Yes, yes, he does. Um, so that's yeah. So that's the end of Michelle's. So Matt, I was trying not to phrase it like that. Um, Matt, the quarantine specialist. At the end of this go, you'll need to get down to, well, lose at least 1 of your cards. I suspect the best one to lose out of that lot would be the Build a Research Station Anywhere card, because you just slap one in somewhere that's the opposite side of the world from the CDC. That way, you don't need to keep going all the way back to Atlanta to cure a disease if when as and when someone eventually gets enough cards. I know that's the only place that can help heal the world, apparently. Yeah, yeah, we could. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you start, in essence. Um, what's the UK's equivalent of the CDC? Does anyone know? We've got the Centre of Tropical Diseases and Medicine in London and Liverpool or something. Right. I thought you would do. Yeah, yeah. Because the one who's, yeah, and Public Health England, and then Scotland, and then Wales, and then Northern Ireland. Because, why have a unified public health? Because health must be different. Yeah. And then being outbid by the feds. What? Mm, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, Matt. Oh, yeah, for you, Matt, that doesn't actually count as a turn. You play it anytime. So you want to have a new research station? Nope, no, you could throw it anywhere in the world. Okay, no worries. Incidentally, Steve, now that Matt has placed that in the discard pile, one of your actions could be to pick it up and then use it. Admittedly, when you've done that, the card is permanently got rid of. So it does mean that if at some point in the future someone has got 5 cards and it's your turn, you can turn around and go, well, let's just build another research station right where you are. So, bit of planning for you. Right, sorry, Matt, you've got 4 actions remaining. Uh, Karachi's got 2, Baghdad's got 1, Cairo's got 2, Istanbul's got 2, Moscow's got 1. Okay, you are quarantined. So that's 1, 2, 3, and a heal. Okay, so that's your go over. You've picked up Ho Chi Minh, and you've picked up the ability to do a forecast. So you've hit your 7 card limit. Your forecast is we can look through the when you play that one, we can look through the next 6 cards down that are going to come up and be infected, and we can reorder them. We can't do shit about it, but we can reorder them. So yes, when you decide to play it. Um, okay, so that's your 2. Then uh, Moscow has just been hit, not actually connected to you, so I'm afraid it gets hit. And Paris gets another one. Um, so that's there. David, the game is with you. So you can either heal Sao Paulo or heal Santiago and get to Sao Paulo. You cannot do both. Quite right. Absolutely. So that's Sao Paulo healed from the magical healer. And your cards are, oh, dear goodness sake. Just in time, another epidemic card. So we move across. So there, I then pick a new city. And oh, too bad. It's all right. It's not the worst it could be. It will be quite bad in a moment because we've had hardly any rounds since the last epidemic card. So those are the only cities, and then it comes up again. So I then shuffle these and place these back. And if we're really unlucky, it'll be one of these 2 cards that I'm about to turn over. First up, Tokyo. Second up, Moscow. So, sorry, in case you didn't see, Ho Chi Minh got 3. Moscow's now up to 3. Tokyo's got 2. Where Michelle is and Taipei's got 1. Um, Asia's looking quite hot right now. like, there seems to be a little flare up of disease around there. Yeah. Well, the thing is, David, you are totally on top of all of the yellow disease cubes. Yeah. You can, but I say the focus of the game is about curing the diseases. You just need to keep on top of the current infections. We don't need to go around eradicate them necessarily. We just need to get on top. So, in terms of curing, Matt has got 3 red cards. Michelle has got 3 blue cards. Steve can't decide whether he wants blue or yellow, having 2 of each. And similarly, David, you've got 2 yellow and 2 red. Yeah. Hang on. I've only drawn 1 card for the end of your go, haven't I? Yeah. Second one, Beijing. You've now got 3 reds as well. So yeah, you're it's a race. Yeah, absolutely. If the two of you could meet up in some of these cities and start sharing, you can get there. Or you can share with Michelle being the conduit, maybe. I don't know. I I think it'd be worth getting Michelle meeting up with some people and um, exchanging blue ones around. Yes, let me have a look at this. Share knowledge. Both of you, the other player must also be in the city with you. So both of you have to get to a city that is that is on one of the cards between the pair of you, and you exchange that particular card. What a pain! What a complete pain! Michelle, as your researcher, you just need to meet up with them, and you can exchange anything or take anything. Yes, absolutely. Oh crap! I thought I'd already infected places. My bad. Oh yeah. Paris gets hit again. St. Petersburg is now up to 3. Yeah. It's right, it's 1 place away from Steve. Who is up now? Steve, you're up. Fancy that. You can actually heal all of it. Okay. That's St. Petersburg healed. Right. You have Sydney and Atlanta. You currently have 8 cards in your hand, one of which is an airlift, which is move any pawn to any place. You've got Sydney as a red card, and none of the other cards are red. You've got Karachi as a black card, and none of the other cards are black. You've got 2 yellows, Buenos Aires and Miami, and 3 blues, Essen, Milan, and Atlanta. So if you end up with 5 of the same colour, we can get, and you get yourself to one of the white building spots, which is Atlanta or Delhi. As yeah, Delhi. One of those white building spaces, then you can cure a disease. And Currently have no diseases cured out of 4. Okay, so Sydney be gone. There we go. Right. So that is Sydney gone. Next on the list is um do we want so yes, you've taken your 2 cards, got rid of that. So now I infect more cities. Karachi? Well, I can actually, because it's Karachi and we have a quarantine specialist there. So Karachi doesn't get anything. Matt, you were standing around. Unfortunately, you were not standing around in Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh currently has 3 disease cubes on it, which means what we have is an outbreak. So first thing, I'll move the outbreak marker on, and then I place a disease cube on every place attached to Ho Chi Minh. Michelle, you've got a lot more work to do out there. um, Admittedly, the really good thing is if someone can cure the red disease, and then all David needs to do is walk around there and the disease cubes go away. Because once we have a cure for a disease, the medic doesn't spend any actions doing heals. They just walk around. You walk around and magic happens. You become the true Jesus of this. You just touch the city and it is cured. So that is, yeah. Who's was that? David? Just yeah, that was David's turn, wasn't it? Or was that Steve's turn? That was Steve. Okay, so I haven't moved the sticky lighter on. Michelle, you're up. Um, you're on Taipei, which has 1. Tokyo has 2. There's 2 moves behind you. Ho Chi Minh has 3, but it's just been and gone. Um, yeah. I mean, what what would actually be useful for you? You've got 2. So you've got 6 cards in your hand right now. At the end of this round, you'll need to discard one of them. You have an event card, which is we get to remove 1 city from the city's discard pile. So, for example, you could remove Ho Chi Minh, and the next time we get an epidemic card, it won't appear. Um, ju- just out of interest, we have 2 epidemic cards played. There are 2 more in that stack. So just beware. Okay, so we want to play resilient population and we remove Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh will now never be infected again. And it also means that at the end of your round, you could take both cards. So this is good. So you still have 4 actions remaining. It can, yes. Something nearby won't need to go over. Everything attached to it only has 1. Tokyo Tokyo is 2 moves away and has two. So in this round, you can move to Tokyo and completely heal Tokyo if you wish, or you can heal pretty much where you are and everything attached to it has something more or less. Shanghai does indeed only have one, but it's had a one for a while. It's probably got used to it by now. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. One, two, three, four. That's Tokyo done. Fair. You've picked up two cards that weren't particularly useful to you. One is Istanbul, one is Osaka. But if you were to meet up with so many others, you have, a yellow and a red card, which could be handy to, I don't know. Matt's got three reds. Right. So that's your two. The next two infections are New York, New York. So good, they infected it twice. Santiago. As I said, it's a city that we will just probably sacrifice in the fullness of time. Right. So that's that. Next is Matt. How we? I can't work out how to get better focus on this. Oh, yeah, I don't seem to. Yeah, yeah, I know. I did look at actually how I can hook up a DSLR to all of this, and I thought seems slightly overkill to play a board game. Yeah, yeah. Turns out probably will be worth it. Um, I might honestly end up buying kit in order to enable me to do that one. Then the next sticking point will be my computer and broadband connection speed. And paying quite a lot for my broadband, so I think I've got a pretty decent speed in theory. But yeah, bizarrely, when I use my work network, I put it on a speed test, and I think it was like 3 meg download and 8 meg upload speed. It's like, yeah, but why workers prioritize my upload speed? I don't. I do not get. But hey ho, such are things. Talking of things, Matt. So Matt has forecast where you can have a look at the next 6 infected cities, and we pick one. Uh, sorry, and we can reorder those 6. Then he's got one quiet night, which means at the end of the round we do what I accidentally am so close to doing, which is we don't infect any more cities. I'm doing it because I'm incompetent and I forget I haven't done that part of the game. But you play that card, you get to do it officially. Okay, which both or one, or do you want to wait to see if you turn over some other cards? Because let's face it, if you turn over 2 red cards, you want that. If you turn over a black card, you probably you don't have any black cards, so it's not going to be as useful. Yeah, because it doesn't count as an action, so you can still take your 4 actions. Yes. Yeah. You have one cube at Karachi, yes. Okay. Just one thing I should mention. It was in the rules dump at the beginning. So um, one of the actions you can take is you can fly between the white buildings. So between the, oh, what do they call them? Research stations. You can bounce between them as a quick teleport as one of your actions. But yeah, I'm not recommending it for this this particular one because where you are is infected and America is pretty much clear besides New York. So, but just so you're aware, that is an option. So you've used one action. hmm Cairo's got two. Baghdad, which is between you and Cairo, has one. Uh, Istanbul is two away, and that has two. Two, three, and one away from you is Istanbul or Cairo, both of which have got two. Istanbul is at the center of a bigger web, I think. One, two, three, four, five, six. And yeah, and there's only five attached to Cairo. Yes, he is, yeah. Which keeps, yeah, I was going to say, I'd end up in Istanbul because as quarantine, St. Petersburg has come up a lot, Moscow's come up a lot, Cairo's come up a lot. If you're sat in Istanbul, you prevent all those places. Okay, cool. Right. Um, go turn yours cards over. So you picked up Delhi and Bogota. So you currently have 9 cards. Um, I don't have space for them. So I'm just going to put that down there. You must discard 2. Okay. That's wonderfully camp. Thank you very much, Steve. So 4 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, yeah. You carry on being you, Steve. Um, so the options, the next 6 cards that come up uh, are. Oh, ah, dear. Right. And then after this, I'm afraid I'm going to have to request a 5-minute adjournment while I nip to the loo. Um, there? How's that? I was going to say, Cairo is very much what you want to come up next, and Baghdad is what we want next, if I may suggest, because we pick 2 cards this round, and given Matt is a quarantine specialist, Cairo and Baghdad are within your quarantine net, and therefore that's effectively one quiet night. Um, you have out of the rest, it doesn't really matter. Actually, sorry, how many cards you got, Matt? You got 8 because you just used one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I suggest actually, Baghdad and Cairo go in the second set because precisely. Uh, no, but it means that um, yeah, actually, yeah, they're all fine. Yeah, yeah, yep. Kolkata, yep. We're happy with that. Fine. All right. And then Matt, you're using a quiet night tonight just to get your card limit down. Is that right? So that is you have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. You have seven, three red, two yellow, a blue, and a black card. Right. I'm just going to mute and take a few minutes break. After I've muted, would you mind just let me know if you can still hear me? Okay. Do we have a plan now? So yeah. Yes, correct. You have one of you has to be in the city that you are swapping over, whether that's the giver or the receiver. That's what I have. Both you have. Well, what? Yeah, you have to both be in this. Let me read this one. You could do this action in two ways: give the city card that matches the city you are in to another player, or take the city card that matches the city you are in from another player. The other player must also be in the city with you. Both of you need to agree to do this. If the player who gets the card now has more than 7 cards, that player must immediately discard a card or play an event card. All except for Michelle. Michelle, I'm s- I'm sorry, Matt. You have Delhi. Delhi is denoted by the fact that you slapped a research station there. Steve has Karachi, which is yeah. Um, yeah. As I say, Michelle just needs to be. Michelle has Istanbul, and Michelle just needs to be in the same. Does not need to match any of the city cards. It does not need to match. A player who shares knowledge can take any of your cards. Yeah, yeah. The wording doesn't actually explicitly say in the same city, but I'm pretty sure that's its intention. The wording says when doing the share knowledge action, the researcher may give any city card from her hand to another player as the same city as her, without this card having to match her city. The transfer must be from her hand to the other player's hand, but it can occur on either player's turn. I mean, I dislike whenever they put in any gendered pronouns, but this time they happen to massively guess it correctly. Um, yeah, you're making assumptions. I don't know how she identifies. But yes. Um, yeah, so you may give any city card from their hand to another player in the same city. Yeah. So, uh, I don't think I moved the lighter on. Uh, s- yeah. Yes. Yes, and he will probably want to use it on his go because he currently has 7 cards. You have Moscow. Yeah. You have Moscow as a card, David, which is a black card, which you aren't collecting, which would actually be a place with 3 disease cubes on. Well, what I'm saying is that you could either move there ordinarily or burn that card that's in your hand to get there as one. And if you did that, you currently have 6 cards in your hand. Um, so if you were to burn that card, that means that you get to keep both cards at the end of your round. and you're in Moscow. I mean, it's not always a good thing, but in this case, yeah. So, so that's one. There are three disease cubes there. I gotta take a punt and say you want to heal. Yeah, two. Okay, so um, Steve does not have St. Petersburg, so it doesn't make sense to share knowledge with him. Sorry, Steve. Um, you could move to Istanbul and heal Istanbul, and that will be the end of your turn. Matt, obviously acting as a quarantine specialist, will still be sat there and stop it getting reinfected and all its other nodes. So, so go to Istanbul where Matt is. Was that okay? I take it as also heal that city. So that's okay. Yeah. So that's all four of yours. You pick up Los Angeles, which is another yellow. So you're 3 and 3. Oh, and Cairo. Ah, I was hoping that would help you make a decision as to whether you collect yellow or red. You got three of each. Like, you're not doing too badly. Um, Out of interest, Michelle's got two yellows. So if Michelle was to meet up with you, yep, and yellow could be cured. As a nice little bonus, when a disease is cured, if we remove all of the disease blocks of that particular colour, it's completely eradicated. At the end of the round, when I'm turning over the infected cities, nothing gets infected. So that's only if everything is completely eradicated and cured. In the meantime, yeah, that's it. But only clear out the cul-de-sac if um, if we've got a cure. Yeah. Yeah. So those two that are turned over were Baghdad and Cairo. Effectively, a quiet night, thanks to the wonders of Matt being sat still there. So that's all good. No, we need him elsewhere. But not so much. Now we've got rid of Ho Chi Minh. Right. So now it is on Steve. And one thing to remember, Steve, is that your special ability is to go through this discard pile as one of your just knock the webcam as one of your actions, and you get to pick something from there. So, uh, I don't know, but we've got another one quiet. We've got one quiet night forecast. Resilient population. That's the one where you remove, excuse me, one of the cities, and being able to build a research station anywhere. Yes. So, for instance, if he plays airlift, he can then dig it back out of the discard pile and play airlift again, but that's it. That's that other cards go completely. Or, for instance, he could um, build another research station, and then people can shuttle between research stations easy. You, well, I was going to say, I just wanted to remind you that that was your special ability, as everyone else has used theirs. Apart, well, Michelle hasn't used hers yet, but you've talked about it. I just wanted to remind you, Steve, that you are special in your own way, and this is what you could do. Michelle, do you object to being put on top of those 2? A Michelle sandwich, my word. Or is it a Matt sandwich or a David sandwich? Who knows? I'm not one to pry. Yes. Ooh, let me have a look. Not unlimited, because they still count as an action. So you've got 4. But yes, in theory, yeah. Sorry, gents. Can you go again one at a time? David first, please. Michelle has got 2 yellows. Oh yeah. Yep. I will try my best. Uh, Let me double check. Give or take. Yeah, give or take. So, and don't forget when you do that, if you tip someone over their card limit, yep. uh, uh, don't worry, it's your go. So you currently have 2 yellows, 3 blues, a black, and an airlift. You are sat in St. Petersburg. Um, Michelle has 3 blues. So, just as a suggestion, um, that's the one. I, correct. Of which we've removed the infection card. So Ho Chi Minh cannot come up again. And Michelle's quite right. There are only ones around there. Yeah, absolutely. So I quite like that plan, Steve, of flying Michelle in. I didn't know you were actually going to fly Michelle in. Um, what all I want to know is who's collecting the airport tax. Anyway, right. So airlifting Michelle to you, to me, to you. Uh, okay. Um, it does say that you need to make sure you get the other person's permission before you do this. And Michelle's gone. Oh yeah. Ah. How do you maintain a 2 meter distance when slapping? Are they using weapons? Uh, yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point, Matt. I want to go back to what Matt said because I really want to know what supermarkets are finding as the trend for what people are buying. I mean, has alcohol sales spiked? Like, is there a surge of that? What about chocolate? Has chocolate surged as well? Ah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah. Cockles. Oh, pork scratchings. Not had pork scratchings in ages. I say it'll help keep me in shape. Well, the shape I've now adopted. Yeah. Oh well. You've airlifted, and you still have 4 actions remaining. So, uh, hmm. Yes. So, what I was going to throw into the mix as a suggestion, Michelle currently has 3 blues, 2 yellows, a black, and a red, and Steve has 3 blues, 2 yellows, and a black. I was going to suggest that Steve give Michelle uh, what? Yes, yeah. Steve gives Michelle one, um, and then Michelle ditches the red Osaka card, and then Steve takes a yellow, and then gives a blue and takes a yellow. So Steve will end up with 4 yellows. Ah, very good. How about that, everyone? Cool. Everyone following. Kinhasa is with Steve. Essen goes to Michelle. So that's 2 actions. Cartoon goes to Steve, and Milan goes to Michelle. Michelle now has 5 cards, 5 blues, uh, Istanbul, and Osaka. Steve now has 4 yellows, and Atlanta and Karachi. So, excuse me. End of Steve's turn. He's picked up Chennai and Lagos. Steve now has 5. Steve now has the ability to cure the yellow disease. Next turn. Uh, He absolutely, he needs to discard one. Can I suggest, Steve, one thing you oh, okay. The blue is Atlanta, which is where there's a research station. Um, she does, but one of the things you can do, uh, I thought you could do. Let me just double check this one. From I thought if you were on, no, right, okay, no, that's fine. Yep, ignore me. That's fine. Y- Yeah. So we'll ditch Atlanta then. Yep. So absolutely, Steve's got that special ability. He could also fish out an airlift. Ooh, yes. He can fish out an airlift, fly himself to to a research station. So one to fish out, one to oh no, airlift would just be free. One to cure it, and he'll still have two actions left. So anyway, absolutely, just doing one. One is Lima, and the other was Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo. Right. Uh, who was that? Steve. Michelle. One, two, three. Yes. One, two, three. Cure. Yes, you have to get yourself to a research centre for a cure. Yeah. So, um, the blue disease is now cured, but it is not eradicated. So the things about a cured disease is that now anyone, when they heal, they don't remove one, they remove all the disease cubes, except for David, who has the magic Jesus touch of just walking through the city and in his wake it is healed. One of the other characters you can play is the dispatcher who gets to move other people's places, other people's pawns. So I've played it before where we've cured, and then the medic walks around, and then the dispatcher moves the medic around as well. And the disease just gets wiped from the map. It is lovely. Right. So the blue disease is cured. Michelle's two cards. You've got Tehran and Washington. Absolutely. I decided to say it silly just for a laugh. We have Bogota and Kolkata. Kolkata, yep, is still getting one. Bogota is also getting one. And that is the end of Michelle's. Matt, you're up. Yeah, yeah, I like this thinking. I was going to say give Michelle Delhi. One, two. Didn't mean to kill Michelle with the third. So you're with Michelle, and you give Michelle Delhi. So that's your fourth. You've picked up Algiers and Sao Paulo. Okay, so you currently have 8 cards. You're allowed 7. I presume, therefore, you want to get rid of San Francisco? Yeah, absolutely. So that is your go over. Let's give more disease to the world. Riyadh gets another one. Saudi Arabia. And Bangkok gets another one. Okay, that is Matt done. David. Absolutely, it is you. um, 1, 2, 3. Oh dear. Oh, I want to know what he's fucking. Uh, it's like, yeah, go with that. I just like the fact Michelle's just stood there and keeps getting all these research papers coming in effectively. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Quite right. So I've increased the infection rate. I haven't done that just because I've been told to. So now, at the end of every round, I draw 3 cities to be infected. Yep. It's not quick enough for Miami, who's just picked up a 3 disease block. And now I reshuffle all these previously infected cities. Oh well. Right. So that's that. Infect, intensify. Yep. So 1, 2, 3 disease cities. Tokyo or Moscow. And Cairo. So that is now the end of David's turn. Steve. Yes, Steve. Scientific conference in Delhi, absolutely. 1, 2, 3. Curing. Yep. Oh no. I was going to say, are we now determining if he can cure or not? The sort of curing test. Right. Anyway, so that's those 5 done. That's that cured. You've picked up St. Petersburg and Baghdad. Michelle, honestly, you have to be able to take whatever research you need and cure it at this stage. It'd be abysmal if you couldn't. But before you do, the 3 that are going to get hit are would be Karachi, but Matt is 1 away, so it's not Karachi. Bangkok is now on 3, and Sao Paulo gets its second. So that's Steve done. Michelle, I mean, yeah. You currently have 6 cards, 4 of which are black. So who do you want to steal from? I'd suggest Matt. Sorry, Matt, do you agree? Is he objecting, that selfish prick? Right. So, Michelle, you have 5 of that. So you've used 1 action. I presume, therefore, you now wish to cure all. Matt, whatever you've started is contagious. Ow! Ow! Not no, Matt, no, never okay. Yeah. You do indeed. You still got moves on you, everyone. Yep. So you've got 2, and so who's after you? Matt is after you. Matt has 3 red cards. Can I make an alternate suggestion? Oh, sorry. I suggest that you take from David and then give to Matt, because um, Matt can take. Yeah, Matt can take from you. Yep. I mean, technically, we don't need to, but it's kind of fun because I've never. I don't think I've ever been and won so early on. like, like it's normally come really close to ending. So you absolutely. Yeah, I know. I missed when I set it up, but anyway, like, I seem to have accidentally made this slightly easier than a normal game. I didn't mean to. um, well, what I did. So when you started playing the game, there were some initial infection cities, some initial infections. I realised a few rounds in, I hadn't left them in the discarded cities pile, so they weren't sprouting back up again. So it's probably made it slightly easier, but not massively. Right. Yeah. So Matt now has 4 reds. No, Michelle, your 2 are Kolkata and Riyadh, and the 3 cities that are being hit this time round are, congratulations to Riyadh. It's got another one. Wow. Yeah. St. Petersburg. And a special prize must go to Miami, who has managed to get a lovely little outbreak as it goes to Bogota, to Mexico City. And even though Atlanta and Washington are blue, um, the infection came from yellow, so they're now picked up a yellow disease cube. Yay, science! So, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot one of the other ways we could lose is if I run out of disease cubes for a particular disease. We're fine. In fact, the worst case is yellow right now, but we're fine. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now that would have pinged quite a few times. We would have lost. I mean, we seem to have done the right tactics throughout. Um, I know. It is definitely Matt's turn. Matt, you currently have three yellows and four reds, neither of which can cure. But you're in the same place as Michelle, so you know. Michelle, do you consent? Seeing as Matt hasn't asked. A nod is going to go work so well on the transcript. Matt, would you like to? I suggest Matt, you probably. Oh yeah, yeah. But you have the options of discarding Bogota, Santiago, or Sao Paulo. Santiago is that one with three. Sao Paulo is that one, and Bogota is that one. Out of all of them, I'd probably get rid of Bogota personally. Because you get to that one. Yep. Yeah. So you have had one turn, one action. Uh, cure the reds. Uh, absolutely. That is technically the game won. Now let's go for the encore. Uh, so that is two turns. Yep. So you can fly to Santiago and then wipe out everything in Santiago. Oh shit, who are you? You're dark green. That one. To Santiago and wipe out everything in Santiago. Lovely. Oh yeah, sorry. Well, the good news is in wiping everything out, you also wipe out the disease. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. What's your focus, Michelle? This game is about curing disease. Never mind the alien invasion. Oh, did anyone see, by the way, that Krakatoa has gone up again? I know. I don't know who was. I was like, I don't know who had volcanoes on their apocalypse bingo, but if you did, you could tick off Krakatoa. uh, yep. Yeah. It's not quite succeeded yet, but it's making a good effort. Yeah. So Matt, you just picked up Mexico City and Mumbai as your cards, but it doesn't really matter at this stage. Um, the infected cities are Bogota, uh, Paris, bloody Baghdad again, and never mind. Right. Um, Miracle Healer. Where would you like to walk through and magically cure? Yeah. So Calcutta has one. Um, Bangkok has three. Jakarta has one, and Ho Chi Minh has three. So that'd be one, two, three, four, and you'd have wiped out eight disease blocks. Yep, absolutely does. Dum, 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 dum. And that leaves you on Ho Chi Minh. That's so much better, doesn't it? Right. Oh, we are running out of goes. I think we've possibly got only one round each left. Um, that gives you two more cards, which puts you up to your 7 card limit. So that's all fine. 3 disease cards. One was Santiago. Well done, Matt. You've stopped that one. One was Lima. Well done, Matt. You stopped that one. And one was New York, who's now on 3. Cool. So that, yes. So game ends. So we've got 3 rounds left. So that is Steve, Michelle, and Matt, and then the game is done. So I'm afraid, David, your time with this is done. We have won it. Well, I say it's done, unless Steve uses one of his special abilities to airlift you somewhere, which he could do, as he might not do. He might not. It's oh yeah, sorry. One of you 3 will have another epidemic card. We've still got one more epidemic. Okay, let me rephrase that. There should be another epidemic card in the pile. I'm pretty sure I put one in there. It's part of the game setup. You should put in 4. I'm pretty sure I did. Right. 6. So if you want an easy game, it's only 4. I say easy. If you want a relatively easy game, it's 4. You can make it medium or hard by adding more. Um, you can also make it harder if you set the game up properly. Uh, Never mind. Yeah, so as I say, at this stage of the game, a dispatcher is fun because I could just move the magic healer around and eradicate disease, but nope. Oh well. So, thanks, Steve, for saying something in the live chat window on, on YouTube. I don't know when you said that. Was it just now or? Right, fair enough. It is your choice. I mean, I say at this point, I kind of don't mind so much because we've already won the game. like, uh, yeah, basically, that's all we're doing. Is for each lap, go around trying to cure as many diseases as we can. You are currently in Delhi, so no, Delhi's cured. Um, 1, 2. You could cure Riyadh, or you could go to Cairo and cure Cairo. Um, okay. 1, 2, 3. You've got another one, so you can be somewhere but not cure it. Cairo or Baghdad are your options. Rightio. I'm not sure how you think this game is played, but I don't think you're going to see them. But yeah, admittedly, pollution's come down a lot. As you may have seen, you can now see the Eye of Mordor. That's always good. I take it you guys still want me to keep sending around random memes, stuff that I see that you might like. Right, okay. Yeah, please, because it's starting to feel like I'm the only one who's doing this. I I was just like, I don't want to upset people by like, hitting their WhatsApp groups with pointless stuff, but it's kind of fun. Cool. That's true. Jakarta and Sydney. Sydney got 1. Jakarta. Where's Jakarta again? There. Yep. Kolkata. There. Right. That's that one. So that's Steve. And it's Michelle. Hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, wishful thinking's not going to make it happen, Matt. Uh, you can't. Sorry, you've got Washington, which has one disease cube on it. Kolkata, which is one place away from you anyway, and Riyadh, which has nothing on it. You can take a shuttle flight to the CTC in Atlanta, which has a disease cube on it. I mean, to be honest, we're not going to eradicate everything. It's just a case of, yeah, damn that maths. But, it's like, but yeah, we're not going to eradicate everything. We're just going to, do a couple of bits and pieces. We've already won the game. Okay, so you're taking a shuttle flight bounce to there. So that's one action. Oh, sorry, you're in Atlanta. Oh, Miami. You want to go to Miami and hit Miami to heal Miami. 3. I mean, if you heal the one at Atlanta, that would be your go over, but you've still move somewhere but not do anything. All right, so I'll heal Atlanta. That's your go over. That's one less. Yep, absolutely. Right, that's you. You've got. There we go. It was you, Michelle. You've got the other epidemic. So that increases that slot. Uh, the next infected city was Istanbul. Yep, that can actually be infected. That's a shame. Yeah, on reflection, sending our quarantine expert down the cul-de-sac, probably not the best move. And then right, 1, 2, 3. However, the quarantine expert did stop Lima getting infected and Santiago getting infected. Oh, God's sake. I didn't shuffle terribly well, it looks like, but it doesn't really matter. Baghdad. I say, Matt, you weren't really doing much there, but you managed to stop 2 infections, so, it's good going. Yeah. Oh, what are you using? DMC or Anchor? Okay. What's that? Gotcha. Right, where were we? Oh yeah. Yeah, you've done yours, Matt. Uh, you're down Santiago. uh, Further down, Peru, Chile. Uh, yeah, you can cure back Bogota. So one move to Lima, healed Lima. One move to Bogota, healed Bogota, and that's the game over, really. So it doesn't really. Absolutely. So that's those. That's Bogota done. Turn over those two. Taipei and Bangkok. Just for completeness. New York, Bangkok. Oh, lovely. Not quite. Uh, New York was one of the cards. So that's one there, one there. Just can't win with New York. Washington has managed to pick up two infections despite its card not having been turned over. Yep, New York and Miami. The two of them were the ones that upset me there. Oh gosh, I didn't realise how much the sun was upsetting. Yeah, yeah, and that's the point where you spoke up. Oh no, wait, no, it wasn't. Yeah, fair. But yes, we won. We won a couple of rounds early, which is always good. We managed to get uh, quite a few places weren't really touched. I mean, by a stroke of luck, most of Africa was left untouched. Um, yeah, yeah, it was just Cairo. Um, most, yeah, most of Asia was left in the state of just one disease cube. In fact, almost everywhere was left with just one disease cube. Three diseases were found, disease cubes at the end in Istanbul, Cairo, Paris, um, and New York. The good news is that only Istanbul and Cairo are actually connected to each other, so only those two would be able to cascade. That's always fun. And yeah, we only ended up with three outbreaks in total. So that's a very, very good score. Yeah. Well, that's apparently one of the things is to look at the four disease pictures and see if you can identify what they are. Let's bring that in closer there. Yeah, I thought you might say that. I really wish. Yeah, I might actually end up properly looking at what closes down YouTube. Right. Yeah. Sorry. In future. I'll just use Skype. I just wanted to experiment. If you. So thank you for indulging. I will. That's a good point. Can you? So I can have it so it's always set to look at Steve. How? Show full video feed. No? Ah. Oh, Michelle. Yeah, okay. I'm having a nice little play with this. I can't rearrange them, but I could just keep. Well, right, yeah, yeah, yeah. I suppose the only way to do that one is to throw everyone apart from the first player up top, and then drag them down in the order that you want them. Um, but yeah, so thanks for that. So that is one done. That's that game done. I've got uh, three more that proper games that should work well, and another one that's a relatively quick one that will. So yeah, so I've got four other games that should be able to work well over the. Dear God, no, 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 no. I have Monopoly, but I'm not going to play it. I don't. I don't even play it when people come here. It's, a, it's genuinely just not a very good game, or not an enjoyable one. Well, we've got the options of. Uh, well, hang on. Let me see if my extension cable will go far enough. No, I'm gonna have to. No, I'm gonna have to put my leg out to try and hook round the games to swing it in. There we go. So the options for next week. That's fine. I'll talk about them. Little one, which is Mastermind. So that's one where if you were to play it in person, you'd set up your colours on the end in those holes. Yep, and everyone has six goes to try and work out both the colours and the sequence of the colours. And I find six goes is phenomenally hard for um, trying to work this one out. Not really. It's be everyone versus one is how I think it's going to be. No, 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 no. Absolutely. So write them down and put your hands up. Like, hands up so we can't see that you're changing them. So we can see you're not changing them, I mean. Yeah, precisely. You write it down once. Yeah. That's why I think it can work remotely. Um, the only competitive game that I've got out of these, the other two are co-ops. It is Russian Railroads. This is a that was week 7. So Russian Railroad Russian Railroads is a is a tongue twister, but it's the downside of it is this is the rule book, and where is it? Here we go. You get to a point. Oh, hang on, there. Uh, no, that bit. There we go. Where it says take a short break because reading the rules is hard. rules are 24 pages long. But if you actually just skip that and just get going, it's actually quite fun. Um, so it's a case of bear with me for the first little bit, because once you get over the initial bit and start playing it, it's really good fun. This one, it's a resource management game. So you have um, so many people that you can put in at any particular point in time to obtain certain resources. Doing this will gain you points, and the winner is one with the most points at the end. So that one can work remotely because there's no thing as private cards in there, whereas most of my other games that are competitive rely on you having information that no one else has. Next one is Castle Panic. This is a cooperative game. Basically, you've got a castle in the middle, which is defended by some walls, and you have monsters attacking from the forest. Using the cards in your hand, we must turn around and uh, kill the monsters by taking down their various hit points. Different monsters have different number of hit points. You don't capture the monsters, but okay. I guess you could think of it that way. I wasn't ever going to think of it that way, but yeah. I think you're seizing a few keywords there, and yeah. I mean, you could have it set up in an office where you're trying to defend your computer desk from HR. I mean, I don't think the setting adds all that much to it. Like, the game in itself is good. Oh, do you know what? That's actually not a bad game to create. Wonder if I could get a Kickstarter on the back of that. Right. And this game, um, Forbidden Sky, is done by. Oh, God, hang on, not centered the picture. There we go. Uh, is done by the same guy who did Pandemic. Um, and it's another cooperative game. And this one, we're all trying to work together to build a rocket so we can take off from this space station that's plummeting to its death. Yeah. Keep it light. So we do that by building a circuit, an actual electronic circuit. So I need to put batteries in there and everything. And if you do that, we end up with a brief moment where the rocket flashes and gets to take off. It's good fun. You get swept along by wind. You can be hit by lightning. Um, it it's another really good co-op game. So those are my options that I can put into the mix for next week. Uh, Obviously, you guys can add your own suggestions and other bits and pieces. Yeah, yeah, true. Um, I think we said no to Monopoly, Steve. Yeah, everyone has a version of Monopoly. This is like, yeah, Reading Monopoly. Huh? Mm, of course.